It's a sunny day in Caldera, which means it's high time for some killing. Me and my teammate Dressygolf are just back from our humiliating second place loss, and we're ready for blood. We drop in and grab some guns. It's a quiet start, so I won't bore you with the details. But here's where things get interesting. We move just north of our initial drop spot, but as we're taking our time sorting through loot, my teammate gets absolutely shredded. I manage to land a few shots as poor Dressygolf goes down, but unfortunately, I'm suffering from can't hit bullet disease, so I don't get the kill. Luckily, my teammate pops her self-res and I take cover and plate up. As we hide on the roof, the enemy pushes and Dressygolf stops him in his tracks. As she finishes the kill, I steal her victim's heartbeat sensor and watch as she goes down again.
I've fallen, and I can't get up!
With one ping directly below us and another 40 meters away, I know I have a small window of time to get Dressygolf back on her feet. Just then, I hear shots to my right. Someone new has just entered the battle. I drop in with ease and grab my first kill, but now we've got even more enemies approaching. As I push out to join the fight, I spot this guy cowering behind a shed and absolutely destroy his armor. And then I do this. But luckily, good old Dressygolf is there to finish the job. As I load into the Gulag, I'm outfitted with my weapon of choice, the Bren. And after destroying this guy's kneecaps, I'm back in the fight. As I parachute back in, I spot an enemy on the roof of the building I just left. He melts my armor as I land, but I've got the Bren, so I'm not worried. With Dressygolf back at my side, we take a few moments to loot the bodies and then roll out. It's here that the game starts to really pick up, with me showing off my expert skills, like the inability to climb a ladder. But as I show off my parkour skills, my teammate throws up a UAV, and suddenly we've got two targets. We chase them down and finally catch up to them. But remember that disease I was telling you about earlier? But unfortunately, I'm suffering from can't hit bullet disease. Yeah, there's no cure. And so, Dressygolf kills both of the enemies on her own while I mistakenly run the other direction. With a few more kills down, we decide to push to our loadout and waste a little time shooting at this poor guy who's just trying to do donuts in his Bertha. As we grab our loadout, I spot a most wanted at the building that we started at. And seeing as I'm desperate to try to prove to Dressygolf that I'm not a waste of time and oxygen, I decide to push it to try to snag the kill. But as I flank to try to sneak up behind him, he pushes out the window straight towards Dressygolf. I pop his armor, but it's gonna be a long game. Oh, and did I mention we're being attacked by a helicopter? I hit a few shots into the gunner, but most land on the helicopter's side. As they jump out of the helicopter, I even pop plates on one of them. But once again, my can't hit bullets disease is a real problem. And as we start getting pelted by rockets, we try to retreat back to the safety of the building behind us. But as we rush for the door, Dressygolf goes down. I managed to get her back on her feet, but given that my aim is the worst thing since boiled bananas, we're not winning this fight. Our enemies slowly close in and drop me with ease. And as Dressygolf desperately tries to revive me, we both fall victim to a well-placed grenade. Luckily, Dressygolf still has her Gulag. Unluckily, she's using the MG42. But by nothing short of a miracle, she somehow manages to land enough headshots to get us back in the game. It's not over yet. She drops back in and after some peaceful looting, has just enough money to buy me back. But as she pushes the buy, she activates a claymore, revealing her to a nearby team. It doesn't kill her outright, so she manages to buy me back, but as I'm parachuting back in, she gets lasered as she runs for cover. Now this is where things get absolutely insane. As of dropping back in, I only have 3 kills, and by the end of the game, I'm going to quadruple that. I know that I don't stand a chance against a full team with just my pistol, so I grab some guns and get ready for a fight. Luckily, Dressygolf manages to crawl to cover, and I get the res off just as Gulag closes. And with a flare going up from the buy station in front of us, we know our enemies are close. As I try to flank to get an angle, I see my enemy creeping towards my teammate, so I push back in and shred him with the Cooper before he even lands a single shot. But as I loot his body, I start taking shots from behind. Luckily, I'm finally starting to wake up, so with a quick flick, I absolutely destroy him. With a few more kills under our belt and the gas moving in behind us, we decide to push in towards the zone. As we position ourselves on top of this hill, I decide to pull out my heartbeat sensor to try and look for enemies, and I get one ping 27 meters away. But as I try to look for him, a second enemy parachutes in out of nowhere, landing on the roof of the house in front of us. I try to take a moment to line up my shot, but my teammate opens fire, so I rush in with the Cooper to try and do some damage. I pop his plates in an instant, and Dressygolf pushes in through the other window to finish the job. I snag a gas mask from his body, but as we're looting the house, I decide to check my heartbeat sensor again, and notice that the ping that I had before is still nearby. So I push the doorway and notice him creeping in. I land enough shots to break his armor, but he hits me with a flash grenade, so I have to pull into cover. With my eyesight restored, I push back to the doorway and land a few more shots with my Cooper. Unfortunately, I'm not quite as good at landing throwing knives, but luckily I have just enough bullets left with the Cooper to finish the job. Now with only 10 enemies left, things are starting to look up, but just as we start to loot our victim's body, we take more shots from the west. I manage to duck into cover and reload my guns, but as I pull out my heartbeat sensor and see 0 pings, I realize one of 2 things. Either my enemy is far, or worse, they have ghost. I peek the corner of the house, searching the distance for my target as I hear a sticky grenade detonate. Just then, I see him peek out from behind some rocks and manage to down him with the XM4. With Dressygolf covering my back and the Cooper at my side, I manage to finish him with ease. But just as I go to loot, I get blasted by a sniper bolt from my left side, leaving me with almost no health. With my plates back on and my health restored, me and Dressygolf peek out to try to find our target. It's then that I spot the familiar sniper glint and put a few shots downrange. Unfortunately, the XM4 that I picked up has more recoil than I've ever seen, and so I resort to the good old-fashioned spray and pray. And somehow it works. I down him in the distance and swap to my Cooper to finish the job. Now we're top 5, and as we close in towards the zone, the stress has never been higher. And as we push in towards the zone, Dressygolf pings a nearby enemy. I take a few shots, but again, this XM4 is shakier than a baby rattle, so it doesn't do the trick. I swap to the Cooper and break his plates, but I run out of ammo, which means I'm back to the XM4 to get the kill. With only 34 bullets to my name, my teammate Dressygolf comes in clutch by dropping me some ammo. At this point, there's 3 teams left, but only 4 people. That means me and Dressygolf have found ourselves in a 2v1v1. If we play it smart, we just might get the win. And so, with gas looming on our left, I check my heartbeat sensor and spot a ping 19 meters in front of me. I know that means he's just on the other side of the hill we're standing on, so to run forward into zone is certain death. So instead, I send Dressygolf to the right as a distraction, pop my dead silence, and pull on my gas mask to pull off a flank. My clueless enemy is none the wiser. Now with only 1 enemy standing between us and Warzone victory, we push into cover. As I jump up on the wall of the ruins to try to get a better vantage point, I spot my enemy looming in the distance. So I quickly get to cover and swap to my XM4. And with just a few simple bullets, the victory is ours.